7% winners, 11, 145, and 1 overall record. Worst handicapping record ever? Well, not if you're a client of Dave Cokin and playing his outright tournament winner selections in golf. Over the past 12 months, David's picked up 56 units in golf, and since joining WagerTalk, he's up 219 units on his outright winners. This includes hitting the Masters at plus 1800, British Open at plus 3150, and last week nailing the St. Jude tourney with Will Zalatoris at plus 2500. We know football season is here and is the focus, but money is money, so why not supplement your daily action with Cokin's Golf, and why not do it at a discount? For a limited time, get 12 months of golf from Dave Cokin for only $199, coming out to just $16.58 per month. Yes, Dave is up 200 units, and we are offering it for just over $16 a month. To lock in this offer before it expires, just head to Cokin's page and get 12 months of golf for $199 with no coupon needed.
Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman, and that guy, well, hello, Theodore. We got a good show today,
hello,
bro.
Lawrence.
We got a good show today. We got some top shelf talent, man. TST. Dave Cokin joining us. He's going to talk college football. It's here, brother. It is here. Week 0 is Saturday. He's going to talk New Mexico State and Nevada, and that's going to be a fun game, man. That line came out at 14 or something. Was bet so hard down. It'll be interesting to find out what Dave thinks. Vanderbilt and Hawaii as well. And don't forget, he's our number one all-time college football expert. Steve Merril coming on. He's going to talk Reds and Phillies and Yankees and athletes. And the Irishman, get the translator, guys. He's looking at boxing. Pedraza versus Richard Comey. I don't know. I don't follow boxing. And French League One game. Dude, I went 2-1 yesterday in MLB. Nobody noticed, but the incredible baseball season continues. How did you do, my friend?
I had a good night last night. We won them both yesterday. And it was, I'm not going to say it's funny, but 2 days ago, I came on the show at the Open. I was saying this, wow, I've had a monster 6-month run, and I've been number one at Sports Memo and Wager Talk, and now I'm ice cold. I can't win anything. Bad beats, tough beats, wrong sides, can't win a coin flip. And I was frustrated. The last 2 days, cashed with the Guardians twice, cashed with the Blue Jays yesterday, a couple of right sides and a coin flip. Even made the right call not to take the Blue Jays in the run line. And obviously came back with Cleveland after cashing them once. And the key is this, all right? If you're a decent capper and you go through a bad week or two, it's really important to stay true to what you are doing. Don't panic. Work a little harder. Cross those I's. Cross those T's. Dot those I's. You're going to have bad weeks this football season. And I thought it was important to talk about this right here, right now. Probably more than one bad week this football season. The key is not, I had a bad week, now I'm a dead. The key is what you do after the bad week. You're not doubling up. You're not trying to get everything back at once. You're putting the time in, focusing, and not panicking. That's the way to win long term. And that's what we're trying to do here on Wager Talk Today. Prez?
You talk about your frustration, brother. So you had a monster run in since February. And the thing for me is I haven't had a run in baseball at all, like zero. I think the most I got to a 5-0 run. But I haven't had a slump either, Teddy. It has been 2-1, then I lose, then I go 2-1-0, then 0-1, then 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, then I lose. So it's always been like 3-1 every 4 plays or 3-2 every 5 plays. It's been incredible. I mean, I am winning big dollars in baseball. The clients don't care, dude. They want to see runs. And guys, there is nothing better than a consistent handicapper who doesn't give you heartburn on a regular basis. So I am as frustrated as you, bro, because I can't get on a run at all. But I haven't gone into a slump either. So it was a similar event to yesterday, but hey, that's what I do.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. So because if you're consistently winning, then you're on a run.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, over the last 30 days, over the last 60 days, over the last 3 months, hey, I'm up X amount of units, or I've got this record.
Teddy,
if you don't, then you're not consistently winning. I don't get it.
My brother, we have done the studies. There is a reason WagerTalk is the largest in this industry by far, and that is the customers want big runs. When we have a gentleman that goes on an 18-2 run, roll up the Brinks truck, bro. But if a person wins 18 days in a row, but goes 2-1 or 3-2 along the way, he's the driver of the Brinks truck rolling up to the 18-2 guy. It just is the way it is. Our industry, the savvy bettors, the best bettors out there are the guys that buy season package, monthly packages, and they don't get caught up in a hot handicapper, because the higher you go, the lower you fall. The roller coaster is there for everybody. And it's always great to catch a handicapper as they get on this incredible run. But the best way to do it, like for instance, Dave Cokin's college football, just buy the damn season. Buy the damn season. So when you say you don't get it, Teddy, the bottom line is I'm winning almost every day, but I'm not winning enough to show a 14-2 run or a 10-1 run. It's always, 5-2, 5-3. But winners are winners. I'm killing it, man. I'm betting my baseball every night. I'm making a lot of money, so I'm happy. Dave Cokin joining us. Dave, yeah, I sound like a whiny old man. How are you feeling, my brother?
I'm okay. Looking forward to the start of college football. We've still got NFL exhibition games, baseball, CFL. I'll be taking a few weeks off from golf. I don't play the playoff final, which is this weekend. So then there's no golf for a couple of weeks. So we'll get back into the full swing when that starts. I'm fine.
Yeah, and I wasn't on the show last Thursday, but congratulations on another massive golf futures winner.
It wasn't that massive.
Okay, well, listen.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, he was one of the top. Yeah, he was 25-1. 25-1 is not massive in golf.
It's massive, period, Dave. But
no. If a guy, look, if a guy, well, I mean, if a guy's, I don't play that many golf outrights in the 25-1 range. I'm looking to hit home runs and find value in guys who are not one of the 10 favorites in a tournament. Zalatoris was definitely one of the 10 favorites in that tournament, and he managed to win. I'm happy with it. What made it nice was it's the only outright I played that week. I usually will have 2 or 3. He happened to be the only one, so that was a nice payoff from that standpoint. But if you look at that compared to some of the other winners I've had in golf, it was chalkier than most.
Fair enough. Well, let's get into it. College football week 0 right in front of us. Yep. Thank God. I'm super excited about it. We have New Mexico State playing Nevada. And Dave, I mean, last year, what an exciting game. 55-28 in that game. Now you got -9 for Nevada. It originally came out at 14.5. It was bet down instantly. It has sat at 9 for many, many days. The total in this game is 50. I know you don't do totals, so how do we bet this game?
Well, I think it's too late to bet it, honestly. I think New Mexico State's got a shot here. First of all, I don't care what happened last year because neither of these teams has much in common with what they had last year. New Mexico State's brought in the veteran, Jerry Kill, good football coach, and he's worked wonders with low-level programs before. Well, he's got a real low-level program here. Nevada, there's probably not a program in the country. Well, There might be one. I'm going to talk about them. But there's probably not a program in the country that's gone through a more turmoil-ridden offseason than Nevada. The coach leaves to take another job in the same conference and takes most of his staff with him. They got absolutely destroyed in the transfer portal. I'm not sure I've ever seen a team with less returning production than Nevada has. And it's just, it's an ugly scene in Reno right now as far as the football's concerned. They actually could start 3-0 and maybe never win a game after that. It's a bad program right now. This is the thing with college football. In these early games, you got to be anticipating the line moves. I think those who got there early with New Mexico State are in great shape. Now, I don't know. I don't think I'd play it at this point. I made the line. I made the line 8.5. So it's about where it's supposed to be now. Value's gone from it, but expect bad things from Nevada. And New Mexico State might sneak up on a few people this year. They're not going to win a lot of games, but they might be more competitive than they've been. They almost have to be more competitive than they've been in recent years.
So, Dave, clearly Nevada's a team we're looking to go against.
Yes.
But when you look at Jerry Kill and the Aggies right now, this is a team, you talked about massive offseason upheaval. That roster is barren for talent. And Kill's a guy who we love, all right? I mean, Kill's made us money at multiple stops. But game one, first year in Las Cruces, I got to think that it's going to be rough for New Mexico State early on. Do you think the Aggies are going to be a true bottom feeder, one of the type of teams that gets better as the season progresses? Or is this a squad we're able to bet against?
Well, no, neither. They're not going to get particularly better. And I think Bill Connolly has them rated as the worst college program in Division I. I can't disagree with that. So, you want to back those teams, you can, but you're probably not going to do well. And the flip side of it is you can't play against them on a regular basis because the spreads on them are going to be massive. And nobody gets fired up to play New Mexico State.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Well, maybe New Mexico. Dave, Vandy, Hawaii, another game. And listen, these lines came out a long time ago, but this one where it came out -7, it went down to -6.
No, I think I'm at -7.
Okay, fine.
Well, you're way off on that. Well,
no, you're right.
We won't. You won't argue because you're right.
Okay, Dave. No problem. Okay, guys, if you go over to the WagerTalk odd stat and pull up the lines, you'll see for yourself whether Dave or I are right. No need to argue. It's -8 now. Where are you going?
Well, it opened. The true opener
at 2.5. It opened at 2.5. It went to 7. Anyway, I don't need to get into this. It's -8. How would you like to bet this play?
Well, that's the thing, though. You do have to get into it because, again, the early bird caught the worm in this one. I think the line. I made the line 6, so it's going through the number I liked. So this is one where this is why you got to get out there early and get your preparation work done before those numbers come out. Especially in the early portion of the season. It won't matter much once we get past the first full week, because you won't see wild adjustments like this. But this is why you do preseason work. Vanderbilt, look, they're going to be a bottom feeder in the SEC, but they've still got some decent talent on that team. And I actually thought they made, despite having a horrible season, I thought they made some progress last year. Hawaii is starting from scratch. It was just a disaster under Graham, and he's out of there. Now, I like the hire of Timmy Chang, former Hawaii quarterback. I think he'll recruit well locally, maybe get some of the fans back into the program. They're not expecting much this year, and they're not going to get much this year because, again, we're talking about a team that has a completely new roster for the most part. All that said, it's still a long trip of Vanderbilt, and they're not a team I would trust to win by a big margin. So I sense this game actually might end up being more competitive than bettors might think. Again, that's not going to be a play for me. but I made it 6. So if it stays above a touchdown, I guess I'd give it a very mild lean to Hawaii, but not something I'm real excited about betting. There's not a lot out there this week in week 0. I played one game.
No.
I've got a 3% play. I have 4% plays, best bets for week 1, and one of those is a free play, by the way. So I would definitely get involved on those. But don't get silly with these games because it's kind of a bottom of the barrel schedule. There's not a lot of great matchups this weekend.
So, Dave, I want to ask about your approach with a team like Vanderbilt that hasn't beaten an FBS opponent by more than a touchdown since 2018.
Yeah.
And here they're being asked to win, obviously, by more than a touchdown just in order to cover the spread. When you see a situation like that, is it an automatic, let's look at the dog kind of play for you with teams that just have no track record of covering these type of numbers? Or is that all prologue and it's just about what the two teams look like this year right now?
It's just right now. It's what do I make the number now? What happened in years past doesn't much matter. I mean, Hawaii is clearly almost an expansion program, if you want to call them that, at this point. And they're a tough number to make a tough team to make a number on, because you really don't know how together they're going to be with a brand new coach and basically new players. And as for Vanderbilt, I mean, I did factor the travel into the number here. That's a long trip in August to face an opponent I'm probably not all that excited about playing. So I don't know, it came out 6, and had the line held, I'd have played it, but it didn't, and that's the way it goes. And this is a weekend where I guess I'll tip my cap to the odds makers. There's not much of it in terms of differential between my power ratings and the actual lines. There's very little. I like the matchup in one game enough to play it, but these other ones, my best piece of advice is don't be in a rush to go out there and fire the board in week 0. Show some patience. Wait for the better matchups and offer more value. I think that's the way to go.
Dave Cokin, everyone. And guys, I feel like I broke a Cardinal Princess Bride rule, where they sat in these, like, don't fight a land war with China. You remember that scene, Teddy, where they were playing the cup with Wesley, and the guy goes, don't fight a land war with China. Don't get into an argument with an Italian, whatever. I can't remember it. But anyway, don't argue college football with Dave Cokin.
By the way, here's a sign that you have arrived in the AARP crowd too, because you're quoting The Princess Bride, which for about 70% of our audience, they have no idea what you're talking about. That movie's like,
I don't buy
40
that.
years old.
I don't buy
let's
that.
make
Really?
it clear, he's misquoting Princess
Misquoting.
Bride.
Correct.
It's don't fight a land war in Asia, not in China. But keep going, Prez.
Yeah, so I misquoted The Princess Bride, but Dave, I do believe
a movie
that
that's 40 years old.
I do believe most people know that movie, even to this day. I have 4 children living in this house. They all know that movie, but the point I'm making is I apologize for arguing college football with the master Dave Cokin, as we spoke about, #1 all-time in college football profits at WagerTalk. He's got 4 plays up for week 1, 1 play up for week 0. Dave, do you have a promo or anything else you want to add?
No. Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Say
well, first of all, I'm doing today's college football show. And tomorrow, I will be doing my first show with Jay Money. Looking forward to that. Going to be a lot of fun.
About?
And what do you mean, what's it about?
Oh,
it's about sports betting.
Okay,
that's
fine.
Generally what I talk about.
Dave Cokin, everybody.
What do you think? I'm not going to. I'm going to give my
So it's about KBO. It's about UFC. It's about NASCAR, Formula One. Those are all sports betting. I asked what it's about.
Yeah, but what I generally, when you've got me on a show, it's going to primarily be college football and baseball, and that hasn't changed much over the years. College basketball, a little golf, NHL. But the other stuff, I don't know. Other sports, I can't hit. Look, let me put it this way. If it's not one of the sports I handicap, you don't want my opinion. I mean, listen, the Battle of Little Bighorn, I had Custer. So, I stick to the stuff I know.
There you go. And just to let you know, Craig Speck writes, Princess Bride is a huge pop culture movie. He knows it.
Oh, okay.
All right. A 30-year-old as well. What's his name? Another, the HSLM knows the movie. Anyway, okay, Dave, we love you. Feel better. We missed you at the meet and greet. I hope you start the college football season like a monster. Guys, we got Teddy's Big Game Breakdown, Steve Merril, Kevin Dolan, and the Daily Presidential Address coming right up.
How would you like to get the rest of August for free? The NFL has 16 preseason games on Thursday. College football season starts this Saturday, and the MLB pennant races are heating up. And you can get all of it for free. Signing up for September with your favorite handicapper at WagerTalk and Sports Memo will get you the rest of this month as a bonus. This is clearly an early bird gets you the worm scenario, as the earlier you sign up, the more free days you'll receive. Every play from every sport that your go-to handicapper releases will be yours until September 30th. That's at least 5 full weeks of action and perhaps more, all for only $2.99. Each handicapper has this special loaded on their homepage, so head there now.
It is time for today's Big Game Breakdown. I know it's not a true big game for the Big Game Breakdown today. That said, any TV game in week 0 in college football is a big game, like it or not. And this one on CBS Sports Prime Time, Saturday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock here on the left coast. Of course, we're talking about Charlotte versus Florida Atlantic. 2 good offenses, 2 suspect defenses. We are expecting some pace in this ball game. There's only one total on the college football week 1 card that has been steamed up, and that's this one. Even from last night, we saw a move. Right now, I'm looking at FAU -7/7.5. And by the way, if you like the side here, be sure to take 7.5 with Charlotte and or lay 7 with Florida Atlantic. Both of those are widely available right now. It is a true split line. From a total standpoint, this got bet up a little bit early in the week, got bet up again last night. Now we're looking at 60s. And I liked it over at 59.5. I'm not going to argue with going over 60. Look, Charlotte's got a spread offense. They got a veteran quarterback in Chris Reynolds. Their top 3 receivers are back. All their top running backs are back. The line gets 4 starters back. Florida Atlantic defense, a lot of transfers, real questions about the pass rush, completely starting over in the secondary. They got 1 returning starter in the secondary. This is a game that I expect Charlotte to get their fair share. Charlotte's defense isn't any good, and Florida Atlantic should be able to move the football here. N'Kosi Perry, they have 4 starters back on the offensive line for the Owls, loaded with veterans, returning quarterback. You got a couple of backs, including a Nebraska transfer, who look real strong. The receiving core looks strong. And again, the defense on the other side, holes, rebuilding all over the place. You put these 2 offenses on the field, I'm expecting touchdowns, not field goals. I'm expecting a handful of big plays. And I'm expecting this game to get up and over the total. Yeah, we're going to be patient in week 0. There's not a lot out there that I'm going to load up on. This isn't a game I'm going to load up on. But for an action wager, absolutely look for Charlotte and FAU to get up and over the total. There's your Big Game Breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers. Before we bring Steve Merril in, let's bring Steve Merril in. Steve, man, we had a lot of fun this past weekend. I got to meet your beautiful wife and kids. We hung out at the Cosmo Pool. It was awesome, man. Loved hanging out with you, bro.
Yeah, it was funny. We did the Thursday night dinner, like 30 of us, as you guys have talked about. And I was sitting with Will, one of our producers. And by the way, it was great seeing a lot of the cappers in person for the first time, but meeting the behind the scenes guys, all the producers like Dan here for this show, Will, the graphics guys, M2, Melissa, Missy, Jason Baum from The Office. Just fantastic to meet them, to be honest. But when I was sitting with Will at the dinner Thursday, and he's like, how many of these guys have you met before? And I looked down the table, and I basically knew every single person at the table. And I was about to say everyone, and I realized the only two people I'd met in person until last Thursday night was you, Prez, and you, Teddy, over the last 20-plus years, because Brian Leonard wasn't there. I saw Brian later in the week. I'd met Brian decades ago, but it really is surreal, to see like Andrew McGinnis. I was sitting across from Andrew and Tony Mejia at the dinner. I've done hundreds of shows with Tony, a lot of shows with Andrew, Drew Martin as well. You feel like you've met them hundreds of times, but it was really the first time to meet a lot of people in person. So a fun event, to say the least.
Yeah, no kidding. And I'll tell you, man, you probably came home feeling good because you were there with your wife and kids. I came home and I haven't stopped sleeping. Anyway, let's get into it. Reds are playing the Phillies. Nola on the mound, minus 340 here. 8.5 is the total. 7 o'clock Eastern game. How are we betting this, Steve?
Yeah, obviously, I got to pay a premium here for a good pitcher against a bad team, so I'm going to stay off the side. But I am going to look at the total in this one. In fact, leaving Tuesday night from Vegas, and by the way, I think I got there before anybody, but I did not leave before anybody. I think Rob Vino, who's there till this weekend, might beat me for the longest stay at the meet and greet. I had about a week and a half out there, but Rob's pushing, I think, about a good 2 weeks. So he's going to get that title. But before I was leaving Tuesday night, heading to the airport, this game was on in the sports book, and I had the under Tuesday night, under 8. And it was looking pretty good as I look up, and it's nothing in the 6th inning. And then when I walk out to head for the airport, about 30 minutes later, it's 4-3. So I ended up losing that one. We won the other 2 games on Tuesday night, but I bring that up because both teams were actually hitting the ball pretty good, and that was kind of the breakout, the second half of that game on Tuesday night, and they followed. It ended up being a 7-6 game, really never in doubt. I mean, that was once again a nothing game in the 6th inning. They put up 13 runs, a little misleading there, but then last night they put up 12 runs, and this, of course, is the Phillies' back-to-back 7-run games on 22 hits, but the Reds 11 runs on 21 hits in those 2 games. They're hitting the ball extremely well also. I think we get some value with the over in this one tonight, over 8.5. It's below that key number of 9. I'll look for Phillies and Reds to go over once again.
Now, with Nola on the hill, I mean, Nola's a legit ace. And he often, if you're tracking Phillies games, when Nola's on the hill, you tend to see lower totals than when anyone else is on the hill. For Philadelphia. And of course, he's throwing no shortage of gems, even post All-Star break. Does Nola's success worry you at all against a Cincy lineup that, let's just be honest, comes and goes? Or is this a spot where, hey, he got hit hard last time out against the Mets, he threw 4 pitches in 5 innings of that ball game. Maybe Cincy can get their fair share or more against one of the Phillies aces.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing you could also look at, too, is a team total in this one, but they're really making you pay because, as Prez said, this is over a $3 favorite. So you talk about a huge, probably the biggest split I've seen all season on team totals. Phillies are 5.5, Reds are 2.5. So once again, you could get cute, just take the Philly team total over and not worry about that Cincinnati offense, but it's only an extra 2.5 runs. So I'd rather have the full game here due to the fact that both offenses have put up double-digit hits in back-to-back games. They both put up some runs, and once again, as you said, Teddy, it's priced into the line. It's 8.5. It's a lower total than it would normally be, and 9 is a very key number. So I think we still get some value with the over with an ace on the mound.
Steve Merril joining us, everyone. Steve, let's talk Yankees. Oakland Yankees have finally put down a little bit of a winning streak. They've had a terrible August. Now they're facing Oakland. Talion on the mound, minus 225 is the total, is the line, 7 is the total. I'm out of whack today. Where are we going? It happens. You do this every day of your life. You're going to have those moments.
I know Dave Cokin intimidated you today, so you've been befuddled ever since. I'm trying to bring you back to your comfort zone here, your safe space, if you will, with the baseball talk. The Yankees, as you said, Prez, they were running away with everything. They were on a record pace a couple months ago. We kind of knew they would regress, but we also knew they would kind of take their foot off the gas. At least I thought they would, and that's what's happened the last couple months. The big question for me is, can they pick things back up heading into the playoffs here over the next month? As you said, 3 straight wins. But what jumps out to me was even though they've won 3 straight against Toronto and the Mets, 4 runs in every win. They've just given up 2 runs. That's why they've won the game. They're still not hitting the ball well. 8 hits or less in all 3 of those recent wins. So going to stay away from the side in this one because, once again, this is a pretty cheap price for one of the best teams in baseball against one of the 2 worst teams all season. The Nationals and A's have pretty much had that title. But the total, I think the under has some value in this one. As I mentioned, the Yankees have won 3 straight, but they're still not hitting the ball. 4 runs in all 3 of those wins. They've now scored 4 or less in 5 straight games. They've had single-digit hits now in 11 of their last 12 games. That is why this team has cooled off. They live and die by the long ball. They're just not getting it right now. So let's hope Oakland doesn't give up the long ball tonight because we know they're a bad offensive team. 3 runs or less in each of their last 3 games. They've had 8 hits or less now in 6 of their last 7. Oakland will not hit the ball tonight. I don't think the Yankees are in good current offensive form either. So we'll look under 7.5. As I mentioned earlier, over 8.5 has some value. 7 is the other key number along with 9. So under 7.5 is a nice number in this one.
So I want to ask you, Steve, because it's not like Taillon's been a guy who's been spot on start after start. And Caprillian's a guy who has been better of late. But, the Yankees can get lefty. And, of course, when you look at Taillon's numbers, the last 3 outings, or in 4 August starts, he's given up 6 dingers, which is something of a concern for me. So do you worry at all about the form of these 2 starting pitchers, or are these just 2 lineups we want to be betting against right now? Take the under that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pure play at the lineups. Once again, team total very low for Oakland, just like Cincy. It's 2.5. Yankees are 4.5. So if you have if you think one pitcher is going to be a little more off than the other, you could always attack the team totals. I'm kind of neutral on the pitchers tonight. The ebb and flow of pitching in baseball, the odds obviously heavily reflect the starters. We see that with that Philly game we just talked about. But these guys do have off games. They also have gems every once in a while. So I'd like to try to look more at the offensive lineups. I think that's more consistent, especially current form. Oakland's been bad all year, and they're in bad current form. But the big play here, and the reason the Yankees have been struggling, is that offense just isn't consistent. It's not there right now. So we'll take under 7.5 based on that premise.
Steve Merril, everyone. And Steve, I know you're rolling, and always when you come on our show, you've got a promo code. What do you have for us today?
Yeah, this one's simple, actually. No promo code needed. So I've got a special, but no promo code today, and that's get the rest of August for free, 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 and that's 7 days. So you're getting a full week for free right now when you sign up for September. Why should you sign up for September? Well, all sports. I'm up over 23 games the past 3.5 months in baseball and basketball, and now we've got football as well. So you're going to get all of September college and pro football plus baseball, which is up 20 games on its own the last couple months. And you're going to get this final week of August for free when you sign up today. You wait till tomorrow, you get the final 6 days for free. If you wait until Friday, you get Saturday, you get the final 5. You see how it works. Sign up for September.
We got it.
And you get the rest of August for free. No promo code needed, Prez. I know you love promos, but I made this one simple. No promo. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com.
Thanks, my brother. Steve Merril, everybody. Teddy, let's just really quick. We need to get to 100 likes, everybody. I got 2 baseball bets for you tonight. I got to make up for yesterday. We're at like 66 likes or so. So hit that thumbs up button. Kevin Dolan, my brother. How's Ireland?
Good, Prez, my end, yeah. And, good to be back on the show. Just in terms of boxing, actually, it's such a fantastic time of the year right now. Obviously, we just saw Usyk Joshua last week. We got Andrew Ruiz, Luis Ortiz next week. Clarissa Shields, Savannah Marshall the week after that. Triple G Canelo, the trilogy fight the week after that. So, I love coming on the show talking about boxing. And obviously, we got another great fight to talk about this weekend as well.
Well, let's start right there. Jose Pedraza versus Richard Comey. Minus 275 for Jose. Look, laying juice in boxing has been a thing since the beginning of time. And we go back to when Muhammad Ali was ruling the heavyweight division, and everybody was laying minus 800, minus 1200. That was a thing back there. Today, well, most people don't want to play that type of juice. But at minus 275, is there value there?
I'm not going to lay that personally, but again, when you're talking about a fighter, you have the option to go, via decision. You've got the option to, Willie KO him. So, you try and tweak those odds a little bit in your favor. But, in terms of this fight this weekend, this is a kind of crossroads fight for both men heading into Saturday. Both fighters are in their mid-30s right now. Both men coming off losses as well. So it is almost kind of a loser goes home scenario here, especially at the age both men are at right now. And, the loser of this fight possibly doesn't get back in the mix. So, you mentioned Jose Pedraza. He's the fighter with more experience at this weight. Commey just jumping up to 140, pretty much for the first time, although it likely shouldn't faze him all that much. He's a naturally kind of big guy as it is. So, potentially extra weight might, even suit him in this fight. He's fighting a guy in Pedraza who, as we said, just came off a loss. It was a close competitive loss, against former unified 140-pound champ Jose Ramirez back in March. So, he'll no doubt want to bounce back with a big win here. Pedraza's never lost back-to-back fights over his career. And he's fighting Richard Commey on the other side, who, while he mightn't have the same, level of overall technical ability as Pedraza, does pack a mean punch. He can bang. He absolutely steamrolled past an excellent Jackson Marinez last year. Pretty shocking stoppage as well. Marinez was highly touted at the time. He'd only lost to Rolly Romero in a fight he really should have won. But, as we said, Commey absolutely cleaned him out of there, knocked him out with a brutal right hand in the 6th round. So Commey's a guy you definitely don't want to be getting too comfortable in there against. You need to be switched on for the full duration of the fight. But saying that, this is only a 10-rounder on Saturday. Pedraza has only lost to elite-level guys as well. As is Commey, in fairness to him. No shame in taking L's against the like of Lomachenko, Teofimo Lopez, even Denis Shavakov as well. Very underrated fighter. But the difference for me in this one is kind of in the manner of those losses. Jose Pedraza was competitive against Lomachenko. A Lomachenko who was arguably at the peak of his powers as well. Well, Commey got absolutely pieced up by Lomachenko back in December, a beating that bad. Lomachenko was actually calling the ref to stop the fight at one stage. Commey was getting so badly battered. So, is Jose Pedraza, Vasily Lomachenko? No, but Commey has nevertheless tended to come off second best when he's went up against kind of elite level technical guys, Teofimo Lopez included. Who absolutely blasted Commey out of there inside 2 rounds. So I think he's going to have those same sorts of issues this Saturday as well. Jose Pedraza is world class, especially his technical ability, his overall ring IQ. He's only ever been stopped once over the course of his career as well against Gervonta Davis. Again, no shame in that because we all know how good Tank Davis is. So especially with this fight being only 10 rounds as well, I have to favour the more technical fighter here, and that's Jose Pedraza. So I'm going to take Jose Pedraza to win by decision this weekend. That's going off minus 163. I don't see Pedraza being able to stop Richard Commey. Commey's far too tough in my opinion. So, yeah, as I said, Jose Pedraza to win this weekend via decision minus 163. That's already on my card for this weekend.
Pedraza by decision. The big fight on Saturday night. Let's talk a little soccer for Sunday in the French Ligue 1. We have Monaco against Paris Saint-Germain. And boy, Saint-Germain, really big favorite. PSG minus, I'm seeing, 550 out there? Plus as high as 1,200 on Monaco to win. The draw, plus 700, plus 650. And the total as high as 4, which is something we don't see very often looking at that WagerTalk live on screen. Where are you going to go with this one in French Ligue 1?
Yeah, biggest game of the weekend in French Ligue 1. And it's, these odds are big, but it's hard not to be impressed with the way PSG are playing right now. 3 wins from 3 to open up the league campaign. They're averaging an absolutely colossal 5.67 goals per game as well. 17 goals scored in just 3 games. I mean, it's just been unreal on offense. And, not against complete scrubs either. Last year's mid-table side Montpellier in there. Former 2020-2021 French League champions Lille as well. So, PSG really are, firing on all cylinders right now. Saying that, they're facing the Monaco team, who I was high on to start the season. We mentioned that in the, European preview show. They've got out of the blocks fairly slowly this year. That's very similar to how they started last year as well. But, who have been getting a little unlucky in spots, in fairness to them. They had a 4.68 to 4.48 XG advantage over the last 2 games. But, came out with a loss and a draw in those games as well. So that tide will likely turn at some point. So I'm just expecting a good old-fashioned shootout in this one on Sunday. Monaco own the league's second best expected goals rating this season on offense, behind, no prizes for guessing who, PSG. And, both teams will be giving up a fair number of chances at the other end on defense as well. PSG have kept just one clean sheet this season and are facing their toughest test to date in Monaco this weekend in terms of quality of offense. And Monaco on the other side rank all the way down in 14th in the league in terms of opponent goals allowed on defense and defensive XGA this season. So for me, I'm going to take the combination prop bet of PSG to win and the over 3.5 goals at -115 in this one. The way both teams are playing right now, this should be an absolute barn burner on Sunday. And it's a play that's cashed in 4 of the last 6 head-to-heads between these two sides in this venue as well. So, yeah, take PSG and the over 3.5 goals on Sunday, combination prop bet. That's what I'm going to be playing over in French League One for this weekend.
Awesome stuff, Kev. We love having you on. Great. I will be betting that boxing play, that's for sure. What do you got to promote?
Actually, we just released a combo special over on WagerTalk right now. I've called it the Hoops and Half Volley Package. Honestly, I was under pressure. I couldn't think of a better name at the time, which is over at my handicapper page. That gets you my full NBA season for the year ahead. We closed out last year red hot, 76.2% heat over the final 3 months of the season. We're 71% lifetime since starting WagerTalk on all 5% NBA top plays as well. So you get all that NBA kind of good stuff right through until summer 2023. And as an early board bonus, we threw in my full World Cup 2022 package, absolutely free as well. So excited about that, heading over to the page and, looking forward to a great rest of the year ahead.
Awesome stuff, Kevin Dolan, everyone. Awesome. Brian Oshner writes, Teddy and Prez, was great to meet you and the rest of the WT crew at Vegas. I couldn't agree more. It was awesome to meet you and all the rest of you guys. Teddy, Chris Lawrence writes, and we can't get into this now, but we do need to discuss this at some point in the next few shows. Maybe tomorrow we'll find some time. Can a capper please break down how they make a line, i.e. New Mexico State +9, but a capper says, hey, I have it at +11.5. How do you get to 11.5, et cetera, et cetera? So that's a really great question that we should definitely delve into. You've got your frown going. Anything you want to say?
It's an easy question. I mean, it's an easy answer. It's a one-sentence answer. Power rating, teams A power rating minus teams B power rating, factor in the home field. Done.
Yeah.
The issue is, the right question is, how do you make good power ratings? But when you're talking about making lines, it's the process is very simple. Power rating A, power rating B, the difference, the home field, boom, there's your number. How to make power ratings, another question.
Okay, well, we'll get to there at some point. We've got football right in front of us. We've made 100 likes. Let's go. Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. Oh, wait, we've already done that. I'm Lawrence Presman. This is the Daily Presidential Address. Thank you guys so much for watching our show. What a great show we had today. Theodore, we had Dave Cokin come on, talk some college football, Steve Merril, some baseball, and Kevin Dolan, some boxing and soccer. So we covered it all. Anyway, I got 2 bets for you guys in baseball today, but before we get into that, I have a college football 5% play up for week 0. It goes Saturday. It is a 5% play. Last year in college football, I was 5-2 in 5% plays, and I won my last 5 as well. I have a promo code for you guys. Use the promo code PREZ20. Let me double check that. That's right, PREZ20, and you get $15 off of my 5% play. As for your 2 bets today, well, we're going with Cleveland -112 against Seattle, and we're going to throw a small amount on Baltimore against the Chicago White Sox. That's Baltimore on the money line and Cleveland on the money line. Guys, use the promo code Prez20. It's $15 off my 5% college football play. Teddy covers. I'm psyched for tomorrow's show. It is Mr. Sub Day for me. Take us home.
Sure, that's going to wrap it for the Thursday edition of WagerTalk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow, same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. I want to thank Kevin Dolan, Steve Merril, and Dave Cokin for joining us. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend here on WagerTalk TV. Be sure to download the app if you haven't done so already. It's free. All of our content is on there. Just search for WagerTalk TV at all your app stores. Tonight, between now and tomorrow's show, I should say, you know what to do. Enjoy the games and good luck.
How would you like to get the rest of August for free? The NFL has 16 preseason games on Thursday. College football season starts this Saturday, and the MLB pennant races are heating up. And you can get all of it for free. Signing up for September with your favorite handicapper at WagerTalk and Sports Memo will get you the rest of this month as a bonus. This is clearly an early bird gets you the worm scenario, as the earlier you sign up, the more free days you'll receive. Every play from every sport that your go-to handicapper releases will be yours until September 30th. That's at least 5 full weeks of action and perhaps more, all for only $2.99. Each handicapper has this special loaded on their homepage, so head there now.